Good evening everyone, welcome to round 13 of the Track Stars Touring Car Series. We're live here from a very wet Fuji Speedway as we take on the Fuji Sprint. Currently in qualifying at the moment, we have Duram 50 currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Got a number of drivers going on with their second lap. Of course, we have Speedy Tyres coming around to complete his lap. He'll be the first one to complete a second lap time here. Let's see what lap time he can produce as he heads out on the main straight. Speedy Tyres, our winner last time out at Daytona Road Course. Fortunately, we didn't get to see that streamed live. And he heads to the top of the charts here with a 147.5. Sirik now goes straight to the top with 146.3. Duram sits in third place. Looks like N-Spud isn't going to improve on his time. Apologies for that. Looks like we had a bit of technical issues there. I thought we had the commentary coming through, but just as we say that, Diswood goes up into second place in qualifying. Without a timer, I don't think looks like we're all done for the session here. So we've got Sirik, who had 2 wins earlier on in TS2 touring cars, filling in as a super sub. I'm sure if someone gave him the opportunity to race TS3, he would have jumped at that as well and probably won both of those races as well, such as his love affair with Fuji Speedway. So there we go, a quick rundown of the times as you can see on the screen. Sirik taking pole position. Second is Diswood. And then on the second row we have Speedy Tyres and Duram 50. Row number 3 covered by N-Spud P666 and Disappointed. Then we have Stavros Magpie, who is another substitute coming in tonight in the Robbo Sport Racing Camp. He starts out of position 7 alongside Isar Devlin. And then we have the second WRT Motorsport car of Nightwalker 964. Then it's Slapper's Mate, rounding out the top 10. Then we have 11th is Highlander 215, and then John 27 in 12th, and Budsy 76 unable to record a time here in this quickfire qualifying session. So he'll be starting from 13th and final starting position here. Unfortunately, it looks like there might have been some shipping delays with the second Satellite Racing Nissan. Must have got lost in transit, or maybe the delay on the sea freight must have been catching up with the second car. And that means that there's only one Satellite Racing Nissan taking part tonight. So we'll do a bit of a quick rundown first before we get into racing. Looks like they're having a quick briefing before they get into the racing, the drivers themselves. We'll give you a bit of a rundown from last time out. Obviously, we didn't quite have a stream. Myself jumping in as a super sub. And then Venti, who was meant to be streaming, not showing up. So, unfortunately, we didn't have a stream on offer. We may have to look at an alternative option, as we do have the replay saved that we can still show that race to everyone and let everyone see all the coverage. But it was Speedy Tyres who took the win in the Satellite Racing Nissan number 41 with a late race pass on the defending series champion Diswood 1 in his CP Motorsports Honda. Then it was N-Spud P666 in the Mash Spuds Racing Lexus rounding out the podium. And then in 4th place it was Ridwan F1 for the second satellite racing car. And then myself rounding out top 5 with Duram 50 just behind. But it looks like we're set to go racing here for race number 1 of round 13 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Second to last round, so all the points here will be crucial, just as they were early on in the season, but now they sort of take a bit more importance. Sirik will be starting off the pole, and the lights go out and we're underway. It looks like a little bit of a slow start there from Sirik. Diswood getting a good run, and Spud struggling. What's happened to Speedy Tyres though? He's had a really bad start here. He's down in 10th place. Tries to go around the outside into turn 1. Manages to get alongside Stavros Magpie. And it's very treacherous running here in the opening laps. As we head a bit further up the order. So Duram 50 running in 5th place. It's Diswood 1 leading the way from Sirik. Then Disappointed and N-Spud. N-Spud looking to make a move here around the outside of Disappointed early on. As Disappointed gets all sorts of sideways out of the corner. Sirik going for a ride there. And contact between Sirik and Duram 50. And coming through is John 27 TCT. Up into 4th place. A brilliant start there from the It's Racing Esports driver in the number 27. And he's up into 4th place from 12th on the opening lap. We're going to have to quickly jump out and reset things here. As we've got Diswood heading through this twisty sector number 3. For the first of 27 laps here. Safe to say this could be a really long night here. As I know the 11 laps I did earlier on tonight in the TS3 race certainly took a long time to complete, and we very much ran overtime in the TS2 races as well. So Diswood leading the way on lap number 1. Disappointed, another championship contender up in the 2nd on the opening lap. This is the kind of performance that he'd like to see in the closing rounds, keeping pace with Diswood. And John 27 up in the 3rd place. Looks like N-Spud's had a bit of an issue here. He's down the order in pit lane. So a great start from him up to 2nd, and now he's dropped down the order again through an incident. And Sirik, unfortunately, I don't think he'll be liking Fuji too much at the moment with that mistake he had on lap 1. But there is plenty of time to recover things, as he just runs wide into turn 1 on the exit of the pit lane. So definitely not the start the WRT crew would have wanted, with both their cars sitting in 12th and 13th. But I guess you can say at least both cars are on the track. Diswood running wide here. Down the end of the back straight into that, I'll call it a little Grand Prix chicane section. But that 4-second lead very much proving an advantage, as he makes a mistake and is able to get away with it. And just as we say that, the advantage is being drawn out again as he heads around Panasonic corner. Complete lap number 2. And it's nearly out to a 5-second gap over Disappointed. I don't think has had a lot of time to prepare for tonight's race, so I know speaking to him beforehand, it's very much about just keeping it on the track rather than focusing on ultimate lap speed. And that's certainly not the way to go about things there, just getting a bit onto the curb there and a little bit out of control. So 2 of the championship contenders, Diswood and Disappointed, trying to close in that gap to Speedy Tyres at the top of the table. John 27 looking to make up some ground in the championship hunt, along with Dram 50, who's opted to stay out even though he's got some front splitter damage. Obviously with the slower pace of the wet weather conditions, he feels that the aero isn't quite as important, and he's probably correct in that fact as well, so he's choosing to stay out early on and make sure that he can salvage as much of a position as possible, maybe saving his pit stop for just in case there's a bigger incident later on that he can get away with a bit more. But at the moment he's closing in on the back of John 27 in a battle for podium place as John gets all out of shape coming out of turn 15, and Duram gone to the high, long way around, gonna cut it in underneath, try and get off that rubber that's usually known in the race line. He draws alongside John. He'll cross the line ahead in third place, but I won't say that this battle is over by any means. As we head down towards turn 1, will John launch another attack? It looks like he's chosen to play it safe and will settle in for 4th place. And as we say that, Speedy Tyres now back up into the top 5. So a little bit of recovery there from that poor start. He'll be back in the top 5 and looking to hunt down John for 4th place. Highlander running in 6th, got a bit of a train forming behind him. The Zen Spud on the charge again after that early incident that forced him in the pit lane. He's now looking to make a move into 6th place, hassling the back of the Lexus of Highlander. Highlander getting all out of shape there. And that's just the invitation Spud needs, and he'll slip on by in the 6th place. And now a bit of a battle here between Highlander and his teammate Isa Devlin. Devlin kind of gaining a bit of a reputation amongst the Trackstars team. He certainly seems to be putting in some strong performances when it comes to wet weather conditions. So we've got a train of 2 ISA Lexuses, and then we have the 2 RSR Nissans sitting in 9th and 10th. Then it's Budsy sitting in 11th, and then we've got Sirik and Nightwalker. Sirik, of course, punching in the fastest lap of the race on lap number 3, so he's very much getting on with the task of trying to salvage a result here for the WRT crew. Back out in front, we have Diswood 1, who's nearly taken this margin out to 10 seconds over Disappointed. So Diswood certainly knows he's on a mission. Very much fighting to build an advantage. Try and take full advantage of Speedy Tyres' mishaps at the start of this race and try and maybe gain the few points back on the championship leader in the hunt for his championship defence. So it looks like John's had a bit of a moment here. He's dropped 2 places, so Spud back up into 5th place. So yeah, judging by the amount of time lost, he's certainly made a mistake here somewhere. And now he's got the likes of Highlander and Slapper's Mate right on his tail. John's heading straight for the pits. And chasing pack all flying past. Sirik now on the back of this midfield battle. He'll be looking to pick off a few of these as quickly as possible, because he's just one spot outside the top 10. Of course, that 10th place occupied by Buzzy, who has obviously gained a spot from John 27 heading into the pits. John heading back out on track. And he has Nightwalk 964 right on his tail. And as we just switch back, Sirik now moving ahead of Budsy 76 into the top 10. Next up on the list, Isar Devlin. Looks to have a bit of a move there, but just couldn't quite get far enough alongside to get the job done comfortably. As he heads into turn 10, down the inside of Devlin. They'll run side by side through 11 and 12. Sirik trying to get the upper hand here. It looks like he's got the job done on Devlin. So he now moves up into 9th. And now it'll be Stavros Magpie. He'll be the next target on the list for him. So the gap between Diswood and Disappointed now 11.7 seconds. Dram 50 about 3 to 4 seconds further back. And then the fast charging Speedy Tyres looking to make a move up into position number 3. So Sirik's now moved ahead of Slapper's Mate, so Slappers must have made a bit of a mistake, because he's gotten himself got himself behind Stavros Magpie as well. Sirik now up the inside of Stavros Magpie. He'll move into 7th place here. And now, next up on the list, in this 1 lap charge, I think he's made up about 4 or 5 spots in the space of 1 lap. It's nearly going to be another one here as Highlander gets out of control and Sirik just glides on past. So now Sirik up in the 6th place. Now he'll have his sights firmly set on chasing down the top 5 of N-Spud, Speedy Tyres, Duram, Disappointed and Diswood. As we're about 7 laps complete here. Race number 1 for round 13 of the Trackstar's Touring Car Series here at Fuji Speedway. It's been raining all weekend here. The rain has not let up at all from the moment we've got here, all throughout the TS3 and TS2 races, and it's continued on into the main series, so definitely you'd nearly call it some monsoonal conditions. It's probably one of the main battles we'll probably need to look on for the moment. Will have to be the likes of Speedy Tyres and Duram 50. As Speedy closes in on Duram for 3rd place. So just having a quick look at the championship standings here at the moment. Of course we have another drop round to be applied here, but Speedy Tyres holding a 4-point gap over Diswood 1, so as things stand, Diswood would move back into the championship lead and would have a 26-point margin over Speedy Tyres. But of course, Speedy looking to make a move. Thinks about to dive down the inside. I think he just added a bit more braking at the end of the straight, as he knew that he was probably going to end up sliding into the side of Duran 50 if he carried on with that. So I'd say Speedy's probably getting to the point where he's sort of meeting those cars that he might be faster than, but not so much faster that he can easily get past them. In these wet conditions, sort of the acceleration and braking points are kind of elongated a bit. And you find yourself losing ground on the exit of corners as you can't get on the gas quick enough to sort of get that run on the car in front. You sort of have to hope that you're significantly faster at some point of the track rather than a tenth or two quicker. As I'll say that though, Speedy gets good run onto the main straight here. Although he's still about half a second back from Duran 50, so it does close in here. And he makes a dive down the inside. Duran 50 just giving him plenty of room there. And cuts back in underneath. Not sure if he's... yeah, he definitely doesn't quite have the run, but so Speedy Tyres up into third place. So Speedy back on the podium here in race number 1. And now we have our three championship contenders sitting 1, 2 and 3. Although the championship order definitely isn't exactly like that. Although as it stands, it'll be Diswood taking the series lead at the moment. Disappointed just sitting slightly further back in third place in the championship, but very much within the hunt if either of these drivers make a slip up. He'll be there to capitalise on any misfortunes. And even saying that, if he takes some race wins, he could very much put himself back in the championship fight. So Speedy getting a run onto the main straight. This one's going to look a lot easier, as he very much gets the job done early on in the straight. Looks like a bit of in-game glitching going on there. Disappointed trying to go the long way around. Don't think he quite had enough there. He's certainly not giving up this fight on Speedy Tyres, and he's ducked back down the inside, so thought this was going to be an easy job here for Speedy Tyres down the main straight. He was going to cruise on away with second place, but Disappointed has other ideas. And he's very much fought back into second place. As you can see there on the onboard shots, these guys fighting and struggling for as much grip as possible. Especially this section from basically turn 10 through to turn 16. It's twisty, it switches back on itself. There's a lot of long radius corners as well. So you're spending a lot of time basically fighting to try to find a threshold of grip. Get the maximum speed you can throughout the corners. The speedy tyres getting a run down the main straight on Disappointed. Oh, looks like he just got out of control there as he went to pull out. He must have hit a puddle or something, and that's just caused him to lose control. So Speedy having a bit of a spin there, trying to make a move for second place. And goes for a bit of a spin into the barriers and takes some damage as a result. This may play nicely into the hands of Spud, who, as you may recall, may have made that, well, did make that pit stop on lap number 1 along with Sirik. So these guys in theory have satisfied the compulsory pit stop requirements, so these two won't need to head to the pits again. Likewise for Duram 50, I believe he's had a pit stop as well, possibly. Back at the front of the field though, it's Diswood 1 with a 20-second margin over Disappointed in the lead. Diswood certainly putting on a clinic here tonight in race number 1. As you see Speedy Tyres heading to pit lane. So Speedy Tyres coming out in 6th place after his pit stop. Sirik up to 4th place on the tail of Spud. Looking to make a move for 3rd place in this race. And then we have Duram 50 close in behind as well. And our race leader now in pit lane. Completing his pit stop. He still comes out with the race lead over Disappointed. Now down to 3.5 seconds. As the battle continues on for 3rd, 4th and 5th, although Sirik just taking over 3rd place. And kind of missed that while following the pit stops. So Sirik getting himself back into the podium spots. The race win probably a bit of a stretch. We could certainly go some way towards maybe taking over second place from Disappointed. So Sirik now building a bit of a margin here. And now it's Duran 50 looking to make a move here on N-Spud. N-Spud just drifting a bit wide, opening the door for Duran to try and sneak up the inside. He gets alongside but doesn't quite have enough to get the job done. Disappointed now heading into pit lane. So interestingly, he comes out behind Duran and Spud. We've got a bit of a close move there. It's very tight between the two. Looks like Disappointed now settling into 5th place. But certainly looking to make a move on Duran 50 for 4th. So as it stands, probably the first 6 have all made their pit stops. We have Diswood 1 leading the way. Sirik for WRT Motorsport coming out in 2nd after the round of pit stops. And then we have a thrilling battle here between N-Spud P666 in 3rd, Duran 50 in 4th, and then just a little further back Disappointed. It seems to be dropping off the tail of these two ahead of him. And then sitting in 6th at Speedy Tyres, who's on a bit more of a recovery drive again. After that spin on the main straight, fighting for 2nd place with Disappointed. So Duran 50 and Spud P666 fighting it out down the main straight. Some great camera shots here at Spud. It's getting all sorts of sideways on the approach to the braking zone. As all these drivers fight for as much grip as possible here on this wet surface. We'll attempt to try and have a bit of a look further back in the pack. But I feel like the moment that we switch away from this battle, there's going to be a pass for position somewhere. As Duran 50 threatens to close in on N-Spud in that corner, nearly makes contact between the two cars. N-Spud getting a little out of shape there. Duran closing in on the exit of turn 16. Looks to have a great run down the main straight. This could be the moment where they make a change of position here. Spud heading on the defensive. Duram trying to go the long way around here. Spud getting all out of shape. Must have hit a puddle and aquaplane there. So go side by side towards turn 1. Spud getting all out of shape again. I think Duram had to take a bit of evasive action. And Spud again holding on to that spot, although Duram gets back underneath. Gets the superior drive out of the corner. Now Duram up into 3rd place. Duram all out of control there. Through turn number 4, and that lets Spud back into 3rd. Disappointed now down the inside into 4th place. Disappointed having his moment. Speedy Tyres out into the runoff area, having a moment as well. So a great battle going on here for the final podium spot in race number 1. Any one of these 4 drivers really could take it at the end of the race. Duram has a little bit of a look down the inside, disappointed in turn 16. Is close on the back of disappointed down this main straight, and probably look to try and repeat that move again. As he makes a run towards turn 1, doesn't quite have enough to get alongside disappointed, so disappointed holding on to 4th place at the moment, but he runs wide out of the corner, and that's going to let Duram 50 pass. So very much going to say here, as soon as I say anything is kind of sorted, the weather just throws up another surprise. Someone gets out of control. Next thing we know, positions are changing all over again. So I'll definitely be interested to keep an eye on things here. Don't think anything amongst these 4 cars is resolved by any means. As it looks like Duram's closing back in on Spud for another attack on 3rd place, while Speedy Tyres is closing in on Disappointed, who gets all kinds of sideways heading into turn 14, 15. And there you see Duram 50 down the inside of Spud as they head past John 27 down in 13th, who's gone a lap down. And the battle rages on between Duram and Spud. Spud aquaplaning over the puddles, getting all sorts of sideways, and somehow still hanging on to 3rd place amongst this all. Duram, of course, is actually an outside contender for this championship. He's only a couple of 100 points back from Speedy Tyres. He's probably in that situation where he probably needs some results tonight, or he's definitely going to be all but out of mathematical contention. But if he can just stay within 200 points, he could very much be in that spot where, if the unthinkable happens and the the top 3 drivers all disconnect, he could just sneak through for a championship with victory of his own. And Spud losing control there in the 14-15. I thought that was going to be the opening for Duram to get in the 3rd place, but somehow, amazingly, Spud is still hanging on here. Duram getting another run down this long main straight. I believe it's 1.1 kilometres in length. Probably one of the longest straights in motorsport. Plenty of time to gain the slipstream. But seemingly for Duram 50, nowhere near enough to get it moved done on N-Spud P666. It's back in 5th and 6th. Speedy Tyres and Disappointed fighting it out for a spot in the top 5. It's hard to know which way to look. It's very much a number of battles we can keep our eye on. And probably these two are probably the most crucial in the context of both this race and of course in the championship as well. As Duram continues to hassle the back of N-Spud P666. He looks for a move down the inside. Is he going to get the job done? Looks like he's got the advantage here. N-Spud though going to hang around the outside and gets a nice run out of the final corner. And pulls out a handy little cushion over Duram 50 down this main straight. It's definitely going to be enough to hold him off for at least another lap. Speedy Tyres looking around the outside. Disappointed outbraking Speedy. Feel like Speedy's just going to slow it up. Turns on a dime at turn 1. Gets back underneath. Disappointed into 5th place. So Speedy finally getting the job done on Disappointed. Unfortunately it's only for 5th rather than 2nd place earlier on. And now he's going to set about trying to make up ground on Duram and Spud. And try and place himself in contention for this podium battle. Disappointed getting a bit out of control there. So in the context of the race, let's just have a look at things. Duram's just a bit further back, so we'll have a quick look. So we've got Diswood way out in front, 18 seconds the gap between himself and Sirik. Sirik another 16 seconds back to Spud. So those two are in a league of their own tonight. And then it's this thrilling battle we've had going on between Spud and Duram, which continues as we speak. Speedy Tyres Disappointed, all 4 cars in a group, and then you're looking back about 50 seconds to Stavros Magpie in 7th. Slappers Mate just another 5 seconds back, then another 20 seconds to Nightwalker, and then Budsy 76 rounding out top 10. Then you have Highlander and Isar Devlin in 11th and 12th. And John 27 rounding out the field. Not having the greatest of times at the moment. But we head back to this battle for the podium. We're on lap number 22 now. So 6 laps left in this race. Spud running a little wide there. Jerem getting a good run out of turn number 6. Jerem very much looking to make a move here. And he'd like to get it done as soon as possible because now Speedy Tyres is arriving on the scene. And he'll feature in this conversation for the final podium spot. Jerem now making a move down the inside of Spud into turn 15. Another look again into 16. I think I've seen this move before and it ends with Spud driving off into the distance a little bit. Hasn't quite happened the same this time around. Now Jerem getting the inside line on Spud. So we head to down the main straight, crossing over in the 5 laps to go. Jerem 50 and then Spud side by side. Spud getting a bit out of control into the grass. And Jerem 50 out braking himself. Gives the spot back to Spud. So Spud being absolutely resolute in defence. And Speedy Tyres now up in the 4th thanks to that mistake from Jerem. Looks like Disappointed's had a bit of a moment here in the last lap. He's down to about 16 seconds off the pace. Jerem losing a bit of time here to Speedy Tyres. So now it's the task of Speedy Tyres to deny Spud a podium finish here. And Speedy would be very much looking to build on his points. Try and keep himself within touching distance of Diswood 1. So Speedy alongside Spud now down the main straight. It's just dealing with a few messages there that are popping up in the comment section. And I've missed Diswood. Diswood has disappeared here. And I'm not sure if that's a game glitch and Diswood's still there, or if Sirik is now in the lead of the race. So as it sits now, Sirik is sitting in the race lead. And Spud and Speedy Tyres fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd, with Jerem 50 and 4th hoping to get himself on the podium here. If indeed it turns out that Diswood has disconnected from the room. Let's just double check things quickly. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but haven't seen anywhere that Diswood has left the room, so not sure what's going on. Speedy Tyres and N-Spud continue to fight it out over 2nd place. Speedy having a look down the inside, can't get the job done. And Spud, currently the owner of the world's widest Lexus RCF, as he holds on to second place. And what has been some defensive driving that would make John Bowe very proud. As Highlander just has a bit of a moment there. There's I'll call it the leading pack. Heads past to put him a lap down. Speedy looking for a pass anywhere he can. Spud continuing to hold him off through every turn. Certainly hasn't looked pretty by any means, but Spud has been getting the job done. As we head down the main straight, Spud's going to cross the line. Be 2 laps to go as he clicks over this timing loop. Lap 26 of 27. Spud hitting all the puddles he can, aquaplaning all over the place. Still somehow managing to hold on to control of this car and hold on to second place. Speedy Tyres doing all he can to take second. Spud getting all out of shape there through turn number 3. Runs wide, somehow gains time here. And now Speedy Tyres not only has to worry about trying to find a way around Spud, but also holding off Ram 50, which could be a bit of a blessing for Spud. As Speedy Tyres now has his front windscreen and the rear view mirror occupied by a Lexus and a Honda respectively. Speedy makes a move down the inside. Just can't quite get far enough along to sort of stake a claim on the exit. Spud has a little bit of a wriggle there. And Spud still holding on to this spot. And Ram 50 now looking for a way past. Speedy runs wide off into the grass, and that opens the door for Ram 50. So Ram 50 now up into the podium spot as we come around and start the final lap. And there's just 6/10 the gap between all 3 drivers. 6/10 between Spud and Ram 50. Likewise for Speedy Tyres. And Spud continuing to possess the world's widest Lexus. And Speedy Tyres still eager to claim a podium spot over Ram 50. But it looks like things are remaining the same way. As our substitute driver here for WIT Motorsport. This bloke has been on an absolute mission here this weekend. 2 wins in the TS2 touring cars. Now he comes out the final corner, and it's going to be the first ever win for WIT Motorsports and Zurich in the main series of Trackstars Touring Car Series as Zurich crosses the line to take the checkered flag here in race number 1. And the battle continuing on. Duran making a bit of a lunge into the final corner. Does he have enough? He's crossed in the second, but Spud has that run down the main straight, and they go side by side towards the line. I think Duran's going to have enough. He's edged ahead here. As they head to the line, it's going to be Duran 50, who takes second place by 0.04 of a second over Enspud, who crosses the line in third. Speedy Tyres will have to settle for fourth place here in this race. Is disappointed heading around his final few corners. He'll look to claim fifth. We'll just take a bit of a look further back. Got Budsy sitting in 8th. Nightwalker in 9th. Highlander in 10th. Ice R. Devlin in 11th. Disappointed, about to come across the line now and take 5th place. And we have Slappers Mate coming around the final corner. Down the main straight, he'll take 6th. His teammate Stavros Magpie in 7th. And then John 27 TCT will be the final car across the line in 12th. That said, I don't know what happened to this Wood. So Woods has disconnected, as you can see there by the left and joined the room. So it wasn't an in-game glitch and Woods had won. Unfortunately, he will be classed as a DNF for race number 1, which will very much be crucial in the scheme of the championship. Although he does have a drop round to fall back on. It's likely he could be taking that drop round tonight. So it's Sirik and WIT Motorsports claiming the victory here in race 1 of round 13 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series at Fuji. Sirik very much enjoys the Fuji circuit, so he'll be loving the fact that he's managed to pick up another win here. So we'll be taking a short break here between races 1 and 2. We'll be back shortly with another 5-minute qualifying session before we get into the second 27 lap race here tonight. Welcome back everyone. We're underway again with qualifying session number 2. 5 minutes in length. And this will set the grid for our second race of the night. Which, judging by the first race, should finish about 5 minutes before the final round. So just a few quick facts about this track while everyone's on their warm-up lap for qualifying. 4.563 kilometres in length for Fuji Speedway. 16 corners in total to make up a lap. Of course, the track hosts of the 2007 and 2008 Japanese Grand Prix in its current guise, along with the 1976 Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, I think we've mentioned here previous times before, was the scene of the thrilling championship battle between James Hunt and Niki Lauda, which was eventually adapted into the movie Rush. And then of course last year, Fuji was the site of some of the events of the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics, with the men's and women's individual road races finishing on the Fuji circuit, as well as the men's and women's road time trials also taking place at the Fuji Speedway. So disappointed first car out onto the track to complete his lap. It's just right on board with him for the remainder of the lap as he heads through turns number 6 and then the sweeping exit of turn number 7 through the fast kinks of 8 and 9, and on the run down the Dunlop turns 10, 11 and 12. Very tight hairpin, and then it switches back on itself into 11 and 12. Sort of a very slow speed chicane. And then 13, the climb up the hill. And then into a sweeping 14 that tightens in on itself into 15. It's disappointed, just gets a little bit wide there on the entry. In these wet conditions, you're very much fighting for grip all the way from turns 10 down to turn 16. And then you get yourself straightened up onto this long main straight. Well over a kilometre in length on the final blast towards the start-finish line. Disappointed coming across the line now. 1:47.8 is his lap time. Speedy Tyres quickly jumps to the top with a 47.2. Sirik with a 47.5. So here comes Spud across the line. What can he produce? A 48 flat. Stavros Magpie 49.5 apparently. So Diswood struggling with a 58.4. He's going to drop down the order bit on this lap. And Spud must have made a mistake. He's satisfied with his time. He's heading to the pits. Same with Stavros Magpie. Disappointed sitting in third place. He's on his second lap. Has he made any improvement? No, he's a bit down on his time. What's Sirik? Sirik's 7/10 up. Well, actually 8/10 up if you rounded up that 1/1000th of a second. So Speedy and Sirik will be the two to watch for pole position. Possibly even Diswood if he can produce a lap as well this time around. But these will be the final laps here in qualifying. looking at how much time Suzuka's gained, I think he's going to be odds-on favourite here to take pole. Let's see what speedy tyres can produce as he comes across the line. 40, not quite enough. So Suzuka now 46.6. He takes pole position. Let's look through the order, see who else is coming up to cross the line. What can Diswood produce here? And Diswood 46.5. He takes pole position away from Suzuka. Who else is on a lap? Looks like there isn't really anyone here who can challenge for pole. Slapper's mate up inside the top 10 with his improved lap time. I saw Devlin doesn't... Oh, no, he does go up to 10th. That was a strange one. The times have been a bit glitchy here. So I think we're all done and dusted here for qualifying. By just under a tenth of a second, it's Diswood 1 claiming pole position. Looking to avenge for his unfortunate DNF in race number 1. Okay, that's weird. Looks like they've switched the times around again. Gonna say this is just Gran Turismo 7 things. So it looks like field set for race number 2. Got Diswood off pole position. Zurich on the front row as well. And the lights out and underway again for race number 2. Diswood getting a solid start here. Disappointed, threading between the two of Zurich and Diswood. And Zurich outbreaks himself into turn 1. Diswood gaining the lead through turn number 2. Zurich and Disappointed side by side on the run to turn 3. With Duram 50 sitting in 4th. And then it's Stavros Magpie in 5th. Until Enspud gets ahead. So Enspud up the 5th. Stavros Magpie in 6th. Catches the grass and goes for a spin. Drops all the way down the field. Budsy down the tail. Let's see what's happening a little bit closer to the front again. And it's Zurich and Disappointed fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd. So just jumping back again, Diswood in the lead, Zurich and Disappointed fighting it out over 2nd and 3rd. Duram 50 close behind, all Honda 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. And then it's Enspud sitting in 5th. Nightwalker in 6th, Speedy Tyres in 7th. So end of lap 1. And we've got Spud, Nightwalker, Speedy Tyres fighting it out for a spot in the top 5. Nightwalker very much holding his own here in the battle with Speedy. As you can very much say, the status quo has returned from race 1 with Diswood out in front, Zurich sitting in 2nd. Disappointed though, probably holding his own a bit better this time around. He's very much keeping on pace with Zurich. Maybe a few adjustments have been made to the It's Racing Esports Honda between races 1 and 2 as we just see Spud getting all out of shape there on the run to turn 10 and 11. And there's contact between Nightwalker and Speedy. That sends them both around. Spud had a bit of a moment there as well through the contact, but managed to recover and comes out ahead in 5th place. And the big winner for all this is Slapper's Mate 117, who's now up to 6th place. Highlander 215 up into 8th as well. And Speedy Tyres now down into 9th place, so he's not having quite the night that he would want. Although in the scheme of the championship he did gain some points over Disappointed. And of course a big haul of points over Diswood, who disconnected from this race. So Speedy just getting around the outside of Slappers Mate into 7th place. And now got a run on Nightwalker. Nightwalker moves the inside of N-Spud. So Nightwalker up into 5th. Spud having a lot of time finding grip. A lot of trouble finding grip, I should say. And he's falling down the order quickly as Speedy Tyres now up into 6th. And as things stand, we currently have Honda's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. I don't think, John isn't in this race at the moment, so all 5 Hondas that have taken the start are all in the first 5 spots. As we have Diswood leading the way. Sirik sitting in 2nd, disappointed in 3rd. And Jerem 50 in 4th, fighting it out with disappointed for the final spot on the podium at the moment. So disappointed in Jerem again, fighting very closely for 3rd and 4th place. Jerem showing plenty of pace here, over disappointed. Just can't seem to find a way past. The Speedy Tyres now up into 5th place, just missed that move. Nightwalker in 6th, and Spud sitting in 7th. Nightwalker a bit of damage on the rear of his car. Spud getting out wide there a little bit. Gets all out of shape through to turns 8 and 9 kinks. Certainly pushing hard to try and find some speed there from the MSR Lexus. It's a Nightwalker, bit of improvement from race number 1. Sitting in 6th place at the moment, he'll be looking to make the most of the good start to the race. And try and press on and score a good result and a good haul of points as he aims to complement Sirik's race win earlier on. Duram 50 now up in the third place ahead of Disappointed. Interesting to see whether he can press on ahead, maybe gain some ground here on Zurich and try and fight for a 1-2 for CB Motorsports. So look a bit further up ahead. Zurich actually isn't falling too far back from Diswood 1, so both drivers very much in contention for a race lead. Zurich would certainly like to be on the hunt for a clean sweep here at Fuji. Diswood off into the grass. He runs wide into turn 1. Doesn't seem to be enough of a time loss though. He manages to recover it and holds on to the race lead. But Zurich will certainly enjoy seeing that in front of him. There'll certainly be some incentive to continue piling on the pressure towards Diswood. This was just covered a little bit, building that margin out a bit over Zurich at the moment. And it's pretty well a steady gap between Zurich and Duram. Sort of hovering around that 7-second mark. Duram though has really started to pull out a gap over Disappointed. Disappointed just running wide there a little bit out of turn 1. I won't say a little bit, probably a whole lot. As he now starts to come under a bit of pressure here from speedy tyres. He's closing up on the back for position number 5. It's like Nightwalker's just dropped down the order a bit. Was running in 6th, now it's dropped down to 8th. He's been closely followed by Stavros Magpie. And Highlander sitting a bit further back in 10th. Speedy looks to be closing in a bit more on Disappointed. Just follow along on board with Speedy for a bit as he tries to reel in the gap towards Disappointed. So unfortunately a half-second penalty through that lap for Speedy Tyres. Just kind of holding his charge towards Disappointed. I imagine he'll slowly close things back up against Disappointed. Still plenty of time in this race, 10 laps in. Another 18 laps left to go. So Speedy getting a great run onto the main straight. Really gaining the advantage as he pulls alongside Disappointed, heading across the start finish line. And run the run down into turn one. Disappointed just a little bit better under brakes. Manages to hold off the charge from Speedy Tyres for another few corners at least. Oh, and Disappointed goes around in the battle with Speedy Tyres. So Speedy takes over fourth, Disappointed now down to fifth. So I've just seen, where's Spud gone to? So Spud's had a bit of a moment here, he's dropped down to ninth. Then we have Slappers Mate in 8th, Highlander in 7th, Nightwalker up to 6th. So this track might be owned by Toyota, but it's very much the Honda Corporation that's having a field day here. With 5 of their cars inside the top 6 at the moment. And all 3 cars in the podium positions at this stage. Speedy Tyres has an 8, nearly 9 second gap to Dream 50 that he's going to have to make up over the second half of this race. Disappointed in pit lane, he's going to make his pit stop. So disappointed back out in 5th place. No position loss there, but just a chance to have a bit of a reset. Set himself up for the second half of the race. Haven't followed this guy much during the race. He's now well up over a 5-second lead at this point. So a bit of an early attack from Sirik, but he's managed to hold off that attack and build that lead a bit. As it looks like Budsy's in the pit lane. I think he's calling it a day here. So Highlander heading into the pits from 6th place. So that means Nightwalker's had a moment himself. Not sure if he's actually pitted or not yet. Well, it looks like the damage is gone, so he has pitted at some point. So now Slapper's mate and then Spud fighting it out for 6th place. That was a weird one. Not sure what on earth happened there. Slapper's definitely entered that corner ahead of Spud and come out of it nearly 2.5 seconds back. That's very much a strange one there. And Nightwalker is already on the back of Spud and Slapper's mate, so whether or not he's made a pit stop, he's certainly putting himself back into contention for 6th place. This seems like one of the closer battles on track at the moment between these 3. It seems like Spud is very much the cause of all the excitement tonight here at Fuji Speedway. As everywhere we turn, it seems to be Spud getting into the midst of the battles. As Nightwalker gets a run on the straight, pulls alongside Slapper's mate. And comfortably moves ahead into 7th place. What happens down in turn 1 though? I'm not sure what's going to happen. Looks like Slapper's having a few issues here. Seems to be very much connection related by the looks of things. Stavros Magpie into the pits. He'll come out in 11th place. Only just behind the Intercontinental Esports Racing Group car of Devlin Calypso, who as he was formerly known, now known as Isar Devlin. He's campaigning the number 55 car at the moment. He did just pull aside by the looks of things and allowed Stavros Magpie to move ahead into the top 10. And with that pit stop, Stavros is a lap down now on Diswood, who you can see just ahead in the distance. Highlander 215. And now currently the last car on the lead lap, sitting in 9th place. So we just catch Nightwalker trying to make a move on N-Spud. This will be the battle for 6th place. Nightwalker moving to the inside of Spud. Spud getting all over the place. Seems to be a trademark of Spuds down this main straight. Nightwalker getting alongside. Oh, and he gets too trigger happy on the throttle and goes for a spin. And that's going to drop him all the way back down to 8th place again. As we now see Diswood 1 heading into pit lane. He'll be completing his pit stop. Sirik takes over the lead of the race at the moment. So I expect the pit stop to be coming from him very soon. I believe Jerem might have made a pit stop as well. Either that or he's made a very costly mistake and given up 3rd place Speedy Tyres. And just as I was taking a drink, Sirik's had a moment here. Gotten out of control. Ended up facing completely the wrong way on the run to turn 16. And the lead that he inherited from the pit stop from Diswood has now been given back. And it looks like Sirik will be heading straight to pit lane to serve that pit stop wherever he can. And Speedy Tyres carries on into 2nd place. Has a little bit of a moment there in the turn 1, but nothing too major. So Suzuka's come out behind Jerem 50. So that could effectively be second place for Jerem 50. Though I imagine Suzuka might have something to say about that in the final 10 laps of this race. Or actually 11 if you're counting the last third of this lap. Comes Speedy Tyres into pit lane. Speedy comes out. Oh, runs a bit wide into turn number 1. He's still going to come out in front of Suzuka. So it looks like we've pretty well cycled through the pit stops. It's Diswood leading the way from Jerem 50. So it's CP Motorsports 1-2 at the moment. And Speedy Tyres sitting in third. And Suzuka in fourth place. Disappointed rounds out the top 5. Bit of a lonely race for him at the moment. And then N-Spud. Continuing to be a bit of a cork in the bottle here. As he sits in 6th place. And he's got the likes of Slapper's Mate and Nightwalker close behind. Then basically our last 3 runners on the track at the moment, Highlander, Stavros Magpie and Isar Devlin. With Budsy remaining parked in pit lane. So Diswood continuing to lead the way. 2/3 of the way through this race. And Woods picking up a second penalty there. So I'm sure that won't affect him too much with a nearly 20-second lead. Jerem's just built up a bit of a margin here over Speedy Tyres in the last couple of laps. Now out to a 4-second margin. And Speedy likewise has built a gap over Suzuka. So we could safely say that this is pretty well where the action's at. And unsurprisingly, it's N-Spud P666 being involved. Certainly been a magnet for race battles throughout this night. There's Nightwalker just closing in on the back of his pack here. as he looks to get himself back up in the 7th place. Definitely searching for a high line through 14 and 15. Trying to get himself off the rubber that can be very much slippery in these wet conditions. Gets an excellent run out of the final corner. And he's going to jump into 7th place. So Nightwalker on yet another charge. He had that moment not long ago where he spun around fighting for 6th place. Dropped back down the order, I think, to about 9th. Now he's back up to 7th. Bit of a sideways moment there through the exit of 15 for Spud. Nightwalker now closing into the back of Spud. As he's got the run down the straight. Has the speed advantage, pulls alongside. At this point he is ahead. Let's see what happens as we get towards turn number 1. Looks like N-Spud's outbraked himself a little bit. Still manages to hold on to position number 6 as they run side by side towards turn 3. And Spud, having the better entry to the corner, holds on to that position. Nightwalker's certainly not going anywhere though. Makes a little bit of a fake lunge towards the inside. Spud's just run wide a little bit. That's going to compromise his corner exit. And he gets all out of shape. Nightwalker looking for a way past. Right on the tail of N-Spud, but can't get far enough alongside to make a move. He's disappointed now, heading for pit lane. Wonder what's happened there. Has he had a moment? He's got a bit of damage to his car. He'll be hoping for a quick and speedy pit stop. And gets back out on track. Well in front of this battle. Between Spud and Nightwalker. Spud again getting a little bit out of control there as he hits a number of puddles and just disrupts the grip of that Lexus RCF. So the battle between Nightwalker and Spud continuing on. Nightwalker's still very much looking for a way around. And then just as I say that, he loses traction coming out of 15. And he spins around into the wall, so back down to 8th place for Nightwalker. And I'd say that that might be where he ends up staying for the rest of the race. So Devlin now singing the pits. Oh, Nightwalker nearly making contact there with the race leader. As he tries to rejoin the race. Definitely wasn't the safest of re-entries. Thankfully, Diswood avoiding any contact there. As he comes across the line 4 laps ago, he gets out on the grass. Not sure what on earth was going on there. Very strange situation there for Woods. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there, but certainly was able to recover it. And it looks like he hasn't lost too much time to his teammate Jerem 50. It looks like Speedy's had a bit of a mistake as well, so he's dropped down to 4th place. He's got some damage to the front of his car. Sirik now up in the 3rd place. So Sirik, definitely the main benefactor from whatever's happened to Speedy along the way. He's up in the 3rd place, building that lead. Seems like Speedy, I'm going to say, is probably going to stick it out and hopefully look to get to the finish line, not lose too much time to Disappointed. So it probably has happened a couple of laps ago. Looking at the lap times here, you can notice that 1 minute 56 on lap 21. Compared to the likes of 146s. There was another mistake on lap 18 that I may have missed as well. But now those lap times have dropped off a little bit thanks to the damage. But Speedy very much probably looking to press on towards the end of the race. Cross the line. Claim a good point stay, as they say, with a 4th place finish. It's a field very much spread out here. Let's take the opportunity to have a quick on board with Diswood. So at this point I think Diswood is just enjoying things a fair bit there, as he knows he's heading towards a victory here in race number 2. Quick scan through the field, Dram 50 in second, Sirik in third, Speedy Tyres in fourth, Disappointed in fifth, Spud in sixth, seventh is Slappers Mate, Nightwalker now a lap down in eighth, Highlander in ninth, then we have Stavros Magpie rounding out top 10. All very much spread out amongst the field here as we head towards the finish. But there's one driver who's certainly been the class of the field here in race number 2. For round 13 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Probably an early scare at the start of the race with Sirik keeping him company in the early stages. But as the race progressed, Diswood just continued to stamp his advantage over the field and built that margin well over 20 seconds as he begins around the final corners that wind up the hills of Mount Fuji for the final time here. He comes around the final corner, gets out a bit sideways in celebration. After a DNF in race 1, Diswood gets a bit of redemption with victory here in race number 2. And his CP Motorsports teammate Dram 50 rounds the final corner, pulls alongside of Highlander 215, and he's going to come across the line to make it a CP Motorsports 1-2. And our race 1 winner, I think this will be enough to give him the round win overall, thanks to Diswood's misfortunes. So Sirik's going to come across the line, he'll take third place. Unfortunately, his winning streak at Fuji has been snapped right here. But he comes across the line for third and takes the round win. Speedy Tyres coming across the line in fourth. A good haul of points for him. As the championship leader, he will be very much pleased with what he's going to take into Suzuka next week at the season finale. I'm disappointed, probably a little bit off the pace here today. Certainly now say that he's probably an outside chance for the championship, having been an early leader in the series. He'll come across the line, pick up 5th place, likely take 3rd place into the championship decider. And then we've got Enspud coming around to cross the line in 6th place. It's been pretty clear who the top 6 drivers have been today, although Nightwalker had threatened at some point to take 6th place in this race. As you see, Slappers Mate 117 the lead, Robbo Sport Racing Nissan in 7th place, Nightwalker 964 taking 8th place, and then it's Highlander 215 in 9th, Stavros Magpie rounding out the field in 10th. And then Budsy and Devlin 11th and 12th, probably going to class them as non-finishers here in this one. So there you have it. Round 13, the Fuji Sprint. Done and dusted. And now 13 rounds of the Trackstars Touring Car Series completed. It's just one more race left to go. 250 kilometres of the Fuji, not the Fuji, the Suzuka circuit coming up next Sunday night, where our series champion will be decided. We hope you can all join us in watching the coverage next week in what's shaping up to be an exciting championship battle. But for now, I'll be signing out, and I'll see you all next weekend at Suzuka for the